Hey, college wrestling fans, it's JT1Wrestle here, and the subject of the day is wrestle offs, specifically NCAA Division II wrestle offs. So far, we've talked about some of the best ones at 125 pounds and 133 pounds, and to be quite candid, nothing really stuck out to me at 149, and nothing really stuck out to me at 165, but I see some very good wrestle offs at both 141 and 157, which will be the two weight classes we're about to discuss. Got a good wrestle off at 141 pounds at the University of Minnesota State Mankato between Colton Hush and Braden Sonnentag. Hush last year was one of the biggest surprises in NCAA Division II wrestling when he pulled off a huge upset over number one ranked Caden Henschel at Super Region 5, eventually finishing in third place, qualifying for the national tournament, and then finishing one match away from NCAA Division II All American honors. He was only a freshman last year and potentially has a phenomenal career ahead of him, but he's got to get past Braden Sonnentag just to make the varsity this year. And Sonnentag is a Division One transfer from the University of Wyoming. And having watched wrestling for such a long time, I know that sometimes these D1 transfers come in and they make a huge difference. So I'm anxious to see who wins that wrestle off between Hush and Sonnentag. Going to look at next 141 pounds, Frostburg State have a wrestle off between Gage Heilbrunn and Chase Bell. Heilbrunn last year in the Mountain East Conference finished third and also had a sixth place finish at Super Region 1. Chase Bell had a very impressive 5 minute and 48-second fall over All American Colton Stone King. So anxious to see who wins that wrestle off. Got another good wrestle off at Maryville, also 141 pounds, between Hudson Hackbarth and Cody Ketchum. Hackbarth last year finished fifth at Super Region 4, and then Ketchum is a NCAA Division II qualifier from 2024. Last but not least, in the 141-pound weight class is a wrestle off that really intrigues me. I'm very curious to see how this is going to turn out between Elias Craig and Jace Luna. Now, let me say this real quick. At the start of the 2024-2025 season, I wrote in my previews that Elias Craig was one of the best wrestlers in NCAA Division II, yet to be a NCAA Division II qualifier, and I'll stand by that. He had back-to-back fourth place finishes in 2023 and in 2024. Unfortunately, last season, things kind of fell apart for him at the Super Region 5 tournament. That happens sometimes. But to give you an idea of just how good this guy is, last year, 8-0 major decision over Colton Hush, who we just discussed. Also had an 8-3 decision over another NCAA Division II qualifier, Pedro Velasquez, and had a 7-4 decision over two-time All-American Jake Neffeniger. So anxious to see how this wrestler turns out. Jace Luna last year was 16-5 on the year. He also had a win over qualifier Pedro Velasquez. So, in my opinion, Elias Craig not only has a potential to be an NCAA Division II qualifier this year, I think he has potential to be a Super Region 5 champion and the potential to be an NCAA Division II All American. But before we even start talking about that kind of stuff, he first has to get past Luna just to be varsity. Going to move on to 157 pounds. This one's going to take place at Mary in North Dakota. We got Cade Renner taking on Lane Ewing. Renner last year finished third at Super Region 5 and seventh place All Americans in the NCAA Division II tournament. Ewing last year had 25 wins on the season, including a very impressive 6-1 win over All American Caleb Manure. So I'm anxious to see who wins this wrestle off. I think both of these guys, both Renner and Ewing, are both All American potential. I mean, Renner already proved it. He was an All American last year. But that was then, this is now, and before he thinks about making All American number two, he's first got to get past Lane Ewing on the varsity position. Last but not least, 157 pounds, we have a wrestle off between Emilio Arleano and Gavin Owens. I'm anxious to see how this one turns out. So far, Owens has an 11-1 major decision as well as a 55-second fall over Arleano, which says quite a bit. But Arleano last year wrestled at both 149 and 165, so part of that could have been just trying to find the right weight class. And he had a win a 4-3 decision over NCAA Division II qualifier Lance Overmeyer, and then Owens also had a win over Lance Overmeyer as well by a 6-3 decision. So, based on the results of last year, it seems pretty cut and dry that Owens is going to win this wrestle off, but a lot can happen over a summer. People can get bigger, people can get stronger, they can improve their technique, they can improve their mental mindset, so on and so forth. So that's why I think this will be a good wrestle off to see who is the varsity position for the Dragons at 157 pounds.